a story that can serve as a lesson, I find, for kind of a too quick of a reaction on the part of some people, which is we had, as our listeners will know, we put a video talking about these new cardinals that were appointed. There were 21 in total. And then we had this very mysterious thing that happened. One of the Indonesian bishops that was made a cardinal declined. He asked to not be made a cardinal, and Pope Francis accepted that. And that, of course, was very strange. So this was Bishop Syukur. I'm probably saying that name wrong. I apologize. But people were immediately asking, well, why did this happen? Well, one explanation that has been, and I should also mention, when he was asked why did you decline to do this, all he responded is, I want to grow in my priestly life. And then others, he would simply respond, pray for me. It'd just be, please pray for me. Very odd. Now, some traditionalists, as soon as that happened, I noticed, said this man is very humble. This, make this man pope. He's very humble. And look, there is a sense in which there is a bit of humility that is found in. I mean, we saw it with St. Thomas Aquinas, for example. He did not want to be made a bishop, did not want to be made a cardinal, for the reason of he wanted to focus on his own what he was doing, rather than be given that grave responsibility. And it is a grave responsibility, of course, but I don't think that's the full picture of what's going on here. What was recently done is La Repubblica, which, if anybody remembers, that's there's a man named Scalfari, had that famous interview with Pope Francis. He runs this magazine, or this publication, and it's very liberal, but they still put this out. It was an expose on this bishop, alleging that he had been behind the cover-up of abuse going on in an orphanage that took place in his diocese. So this got brought up, and now we're seeing this being spread mainly in non-English speaking through those journalistic circles. Really hasn't gotten to the English speaking yet, but it will. And that's brought up another issue, which is that this has happened before. Just a few years ago, Bishop Lucas van Looy, a bishop in Belgium, I believe, had been involved in some of these scandals of moving priests around. I believe he moved a priest to the Congo who had committed some of these abuses, and he was made a cardinal and then declined to receive the red hat when there was a bunch of complaints on this topic. So that's been brought up. Do we know the exact details about why this cardinal declined? Look, it could be he was trying to actually grow in his priestly life and just didn't feel comfortable being a cardinal. It would be very rare. It would be very strange that he did this. It was sort of a historic moment for his community. So I doubt that is the full story. I think we're getting closer, even if this left-wing magazine, which really wouldn't have an agenda to publish this expose, at least from my perspective, it doesn't seem like this bishop is particularly conservative. And so I am worried that might be behind this. And I think it is a lesson that we shouldn't form our traditionalism based on a sort of narrative of, well, anybody who goes away from Rome or who says no to Pope Francis, that's a good idea. I think it's more nuanced than that. I think we have to be more careful in our critiques of Pope Francis and analyzing the church. In this case, I think there might be some trouble when it comes to this bishop declining his red hat. And finally, I think it does show that there needs to be a more delicate handling of who gets appointed a bishop, who gets made a cardinal. I mean, goodness, you're talking about the decision-making process of who's the next supreme pontiff. And if we have people who are consistently involved in these scandals and the Vatican doesn't even know about it, it's very strange that there is not a deeper process vetting these people.
Yeah, you're right. Because again, if it's true, there's either one of two explanations. They didn't find out about this, and you say, what vetting process did you go through if you missed this? Or they did know about it and didn't care, right? Both of them troubling for different reasons. So, and the fact that it seems to have happened a second time makes you wonder.
Yeah. Definitely. I think it does show a sort of habit that's been formed or really just a negligence on the part of the Vatican authorities. I think that's more likely. I just simply don't. And we saw this with the canonization process that's been changed. It's sort of a lack of care that gets put into this. And it's going to take more authenticity really taking the religion seriously. Even doctrinal orthodoxy won't fix the
Yeah.
abuse crisis or this sort of mishandling. It's going to take taking our religion seriously and being orthodox in order to find
Yeah.
a true understanding of the Catholic faith and how to implement it.
Absolutely. Yeah.